You're watching Newstainment Television.
Thank you guys, thank you. Good evening, thank you very much. What a day to do this, World Food Day. And it is something which I believe we are talking that food as a category is a digital first category. And come to think of it, it was in 1996 when I launched my website, sanjeevkapoor.com, and I love to say this, much before Times of India thought of a website. Times of India did have a website, I launched that. And since then, the journey, whether it is food, whether it is channels across other platforms or content across categories, the whole scene has been changing. And we talked about comparison with cricket. I have always believed that in India, there are three religions of entertainment. Biggest, of course, is Bollywood, closely followed by cricket. It's Bollywood, cricket, two religions of entertainment. And third one, understated, underplayed, but now getting its due share, that's food. Three religions of entertainment in India would be Bollywood, cricket, and food. Now there is time for food. The representation for food globally has been big. In India, it is beginning to happen. People often say that food in India is something which is probably more eaten but not talked that much. We have not used our expertise in talking about food that much across in our kitchen, in our on our dining table. We don't talk about food that much. In the sense, our verbalization of food is not something which or is not as passionate as what in some parts of the world you would see. But that's beginning to change, and that change is something is causing these kind of currents on digital world, including India when it comes to food. My association with Sony goes a very long way, and not many people know. The genesis of Food channel, it is thanks to Sony TV. The first thought of a 24-hour TV channel on food was done in Sony TV's office when Anupa Das Amrita was the CEO and MP was also there. That was way back, and our first business plan was done with Sony. Long story, but anyway. So my association with Sony is fairly long. So when Uday and I we spoke about what Sony LIV has been doing and creating waves with their content, it was pretty obvious that food had to make a big impact on Sony LIV also, and I'm very happy that Food and Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana channels. So Sanjeev Kapoor as a person, the whole community of that, and Food our content, we are very happy to associate with Sony LIV, and I'm sure that this association would go a long way with Sony LIV's power of I would say how recently the Nobel Prize winner in economics talked about power of nudging, that you don't have to force people, you just nudge because you have that size. I think Sony has that power of nudging, and which would help everyone here, because I don't think that it is our partnership. I don't think it's just content partnership. I think it's a partnership of the community that is sitting here, because that is the real power. What we do, what we talk about, unless it is shared, unless that is scrutinized, unless that is commented on, unless people get real taste of it through all of you present here, it does not make any sense. So I think it is for all of us, this power will give more power to food. and who does not want more power? That's what it is. So on this World Food Day, I would like to thank SonyLIV, all my team at FoodFood, at Sanjeev Kapoor's Khazana, and all of you who have made this possible to see this day where in India we can say that food now is being talked about much more than ever. I'll take just one more minute on something which we talked about this morning because in 2 weeks from now there's a large event that's happening in India for the first time in India, something of a scale of maybe only comparable thing would be Anugas or Sials of the world, big food exhibition conference event in Delhi on 3rd, 4th and 5th of November. India is one of the largest producers of anything, largest dairy producer, largest fruit and vegetable producer. We have so much food, we have so much power of food. Now let's use our power to tell the world that we are serious players in world. And when I was studying, the only thing that I read about of food at international level, references to India were famine in India. Let's change that. Let's change that to celebration of food from India, and only people here can make that happen. And also, there's a pledge that was taken this morning, I was in Delhi, where no waste on my plate. There's a lot of wastage that happens. So I just want you to invite you to that pledge where we take a pledge not to waste any food while we'll be celebrating a lot of good food, but at the same time, let us also give some time to the thought that we will not waste any food in any which way. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think definitely we as our community of people, we reach out to millions, but SonyLIV as a platform reaches out to many more millions than what we also do. So yes, it can definitely be done. Since there are people from food, let me leave you with a thought that in India, and I think positioning of anything is very, very important, and Indian food also has to be positioned right globally. And I say this कि हमारे यहाँ तो मतलब प्रॉब्लम भी ऐसी है कि हमारी जो कहावत भी होती है ना, घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर, तो मतलब अपनी चीज़ को हम अपने आप वैसे ही ख़त्म कर देते हैं. So we have to change that. So let's look at people in the food would understand this, that it was not very long ago when the Japanese started to talk about fifth higher taste, which was umami, right? So 4 basic taste, khatta, meetha, tikha, namkeen, right? Sweet, salty, savory, and these are 4 tastes. Then Japanese said 5th higher taste. Actually, in India, we have always had 6 tastes. Chhat ras. 6 ritu hoti hain, 6 season, 6 tastes that we have. We actually have a 7th taste also, which is a metallic taste. Astringent is 5th, and pungent and astringent being 5th and 6th, and 7th metallic taste. But we haven't talked about it. We haven't talked about it, and through mediums of mass reach like SonyLIV, I think we need to embed this kind of messaging for the world in a very soft way. We have to nudge. We don't have to do anything. We just have to nudge and take people with us, push people in a way that people understand that what we are trying to do here. And if we use that power intelligently, I think that respect is something which has been there with us. Maybe we lost it somewhere. We can get it back.
Thank you so much. So, I mean, something butter chicken. मतलब सबने सुना है, सबने खाया है, and there you are now with like a staple on it. ना कि अगर butter chicken खाना है तो गोयला butter chicken ही खाना है. How did you get around to that?
Butter chicken is a age-old dish, and I'm a Delhi boy, so it technically runs in my blood. A lot of people think I'm Punjabi. I'm not. Goila, the surname actually means Banyas and Marwadis. So when I was calling it Goila butter chicken, so my dad got calls from different family members. They're like, Saransh's butter chicken, वो तो Goila लगाने की क्या ज़रूरत है butter chicken के साथ? And yeah, that's how it kind of came into being. I think Goila gives it the whole, ऐसा लगता है ना पंजाबी, like चावला chicken और
एक सवाल पूछूं, मारवाड़ी वेजिटेरियन नहीं होते?
हाँ, correct. I belong to a purely vegetarian family. So जो original recipe है butter chicken की, okay no I can't say this. No.
गया बिजनेस हाथ से, अच्छा ऐसा बता रहे थे, तुम रुक क्यों गए यहाँ पर? बट कुछ तो हिंट दो हमें कि वेजिटेरियन से तुम गोला बटर चिकन कहाँ पहुँच गए?
I give a small tip information out. So the original recipe is actually a paneer recipe, which is used for the chicken. बड़े खुश है, कोई vegetarian है बहुत खुश है. So it's the original paneer recipe which we smoke with coal. हम कोल का उसमें धुआं लगाते हैं, धुंगार, and that smoky effect makes it special.
So hence what I asked you, Goila butter chicken, that smoke effect. But yeah, it's a phenomenal dish for the non-vegetarians over here. If you've not had it, you're really missing out on something. I know Saransh personally. He's never come and cooked it for me. Hint. लेकिन मैं order हमेशा करता हूँ because it's that good that you know someone personally, but their product is so good. So I recommend it very highly. And Harpal sir, आप हमें बताइए, मैं उस टाइम भी पूछ रहा था कि हेल्दी कुकिंग कैसे हो सकती है? हमें तो आइडिया होता है कि ऑयल लगाओ और तेल डालो, थोड़ा घी भी डाल दो, चावल में तो दिख नहीं रहा है, तो हेल्थ कॉन्शियस लोगों के लिए कैसे चलेगा ये?
मैं हेल्दी कुकिंग करता ही नहीं हूँ। ये जब बोल रहे थे तो मैं चेयर के नीचे अपना सर डाल के बैठ गया था, क्योंकि अच्छे खाने में हेल्थ नहीं होती है, हेल्थ अगले दिन सुबह 5 बजे होती है। अगर ये करते हैं तो जिंदा है और अच्छा खाना मिलेगा, वरना बाबा रामदेव इज ऑलवेज अवेलेबल। बिना झिझक के 5 बजे उठे, पेट अंदर बाहर करें, आराम से रहिए, और एक दिन पहले जितना बटर डालना आंख बंद करके डालिए, और कभी भी बटर डालते वक्त नीचे मत देखिएगा, दौरे पड़ जाएंगे। तो सर जी, मैं हेल्दी खाना नहीं बनाता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं फ्रांस भी गया हूँ और इंटरनेशनली ट्रैवल भी कर चुका हूँ। और जब भी ट्रैवल करते हैं तो हम सोचते हैं कि विलायती खाना बड़ा स्वादिष्ट होता है, बड़ा मज़ेदार होता है। फ्रांस का जो सबसे बड़ा शेफ़ है, एक बार अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल गई थी उनकी टीम के साथ काम करने में, बड़ा क्लियर सा फंडा था, फ्रेंच फूड इज़ ज़ीरो विदाउट बटर, इट्स लाइक दाल मखनी इज़ ज़ीरो विदाउट बटर। So more the butter, more the chatter, and chatter, butter, futter.
Sure. Hi, my name is Jigar. I'm from Mumbai. My question is to Sanjeev sir and anybody else who wants to answer, but primarily sir. In all these years that you've cooked, what is the most difficult thing that or the challenge that you've faced with food? The most difficult challenge you've ever faced with food?
Actually, most difficult challenge that I've faced is cooking for my daughters, because their tastes change literally every day, and they have stayed true. So everyone else is kind, they are not. So that's something which and मतलब I remember कभी अच्छा आज क्या बना रहे हो पापा, कोई ऐसे वैसे नहीं चाहिए, अच्छा एकदम प्रेजेंटेशन के स्टाइल में, मास्टर शेफ के स्टाइल में आप बनाओगे जजेस सामने, तो बाकी लोग तो ऐसा कोई करते नहीं हैं। सो या कुकिंग फॉर देम। थैंक यू सर।
Hi, the question is for Chef Kapoor out here, and sir, I believe during your speech when you were addressing the crowd, and you mentioned that on World Food Day today in Delhi on the pledge was on no waste on my plate. You being a chef and being with someone else out here, what are the other ways where we can take this initiative ahead from our end?
Very good thought. I'm glad that you asked this. Actually, India as a society, we don't like to waste anything. But that wastage is not only what you see that okay, मैंने घर में खाना खाया, उसमें क्या waste होना है. It is a responsible mind where you are consistently and constantly thinking about any wastage that happens, and it not necessarily that what you are wasting. So you are also a flag bearer of the thought, where you become the thought leader and you start to influence more people, the community that you have. So how to do it? I think different people have their different answers. कुछ लोग होते हैं जो अपनी प्लेट में ज़्यादा ले लेते हैं, कुछ लोग हो सकता है कि कई बार हम लोग ऐसी सिचुएशंस में होते हैं, जैसे यहाँ पे होटल में है, आपने देखा कि आपने पार्टी करी, उसके बाद में काफ़ी सारा खाना बच गया. Now, do we think that what would happen to that? Maybe just that thought would help. And when I remember when my daughter was very young, I remember हम लोग दिल्ली में थे और कुछ किसी के साथ गाड़ी में बैठे हुए थे, and that person opened the window, च्युइंगम खाया उन्होंने, बाहर फेंक दिया, बहुत साल पुरानी बात है, and she made him stop the car, ऐसे कि नहीं आपको उठा के लेके आ. Now as a young child to do that's something which is, उसने नहीं कुछ किया, ना उसने गंदा किया था, ना उसने किया था, but that thought, and to ensure that. So when we say no wastage on plate, it goes beyond that plate. Now that food is getting so much attention, just talking more about it. So just reiterating that, पहले मैंने बोला, उसके बाद में और उस पे attention लेके गए, that is your contribution. Well done.
Yes, we do.
हेलो शेफ हरपाल, अभी नमक शमक की बात हुई, लेकिन आपको मीठे में क्या पसंद है? हमेशा नमक की बात करते हैं आप.
Like just as Sanjeev ji said, नमक का हलवा. हम मीठे में रेजिस्ट नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि वज़न बहुत बढ़ जाता है खाते, लेकिन बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं हिंदुस्तान में खाने के लिए. And when I go to Bengal, I like खीर कदम a lot. बहुत अच्छा लगता है मुझे. और पंजाब जाते हैं तो डोडा खाने में मज़ा आता है. तो पूरा हिंदुस्तान का जब ब्रह्मांड होता है, अलग अलग जगहों पे अलग अलग चीज़ें मज़ेदार लगती हैं. अब वहाँ भी खाना डाइजेस्ट करने के लिए हम कर ही देते हैं, नमक चमक डाल देते हैं.
This is Newstainment Television.